the Cooperative Language Learning Group, and in this case we're going to talk about some main aspects about this really interesting kind of approach. So my name is Joel Diaz, my partner Mateo Echeverria, and my partner Jessica Farinango. Talking about the main aspects of the collaborative language learning, we have to mention some of them. As we know, the collaborative language learning is a kind of approach where the students are able to learn a new language, in this case applying a group. So in this case, talking about the group, the students can have a real approach with the language, applying a great variety of material, audios, or in this case they could apply videos, or in this case they could apply some physical material they could apply inside the activities. They can apply a great variety of the materials to try to expand their vocabulary. Talking about another main aspect of the collaborative language learning, we have to mention that the students can acquire a second language in many different ways. In that way, the acquisition of a second language becomes very meaningful. For example, the teacher provides a specific kind of vocabulary that teachers use in their daily life. Or for example, the teacher provides a specific vocabulary that engineers use in their daily lives. So in this case, using a role play, the students can develop the activities of the class. So what is the objective of this activity? Is that the students can communicate in a professional way to others. They can have a real approach with many real life situations, in this case specific situations where the language becomes very important to be learned. Talking about the main objectives of the collaborative language learning, we have to mention three of them. It is designed to foster the collaboration between the members of the group rather than the competence. In the other hand, we have to mention that the collaborative language learning is focused to develop the critical thinking skills, the social and cognitive skills of the students, in this case of the members of the group. At the same time, improve the competence between the students through socially designed activities. Talking about another main aspects of the collaborative language learning, we have to mention the classroom climate and the stress of the students, or in this case, how the students feels about the class. So in this case, if the class is not comfortable for the students could generate a very low level of acquisition of the language. So in this case, with the collaborative language learning, the teacher tries to improve their communication skills or their communication strategies through the conversation between the members of the group. So, talking about the stress of the students. If the students do not feel engaged with the material or with the content, or as we said, with the classroom climate, the students could generate a very bad feeling of the class. So in this case, the teacher wants to improve their social skills or their communication skills or strategies through the development or the achieve or the acquisition of a second language through specific activities applied inside the groups.
Hi everyone, I'm going to talk about the roles in the cooperative language learning. At first, I'm going to talk about the learner's role. So because the learner is part of a group, the learner role is always to work very collaboratively with his group, and obviously he has to learn some teamwork skills, so he is able to learn other things. Obviously they are going to be the directors of their own learning because they are sharing information between them, and they are taught to plan, to monitor, to evaluate, and do other things with their own learning. And the most common format of communicative language learning is pair grouping. In these pairs, the learners have to alternate their roles. This could be, for example, take the role of tutors, checkers, recorders, and information sharers, where they have to alternate so both of the members of the group can acquire the knowledge. On the other hand, for the teacher role, we have that the most important role of the teacher is that he creates a good environment. Okay, he has to create this good environment so students are well organized and they also feel free to speak, to produce their own language. And obviously he does this by, for example, changing the physical environment of the classroom. Maybe he can assign the students groups. Obviously he has to select the materials and the time which will be appropriate for the time, and he does the things so he can create this good environment. And obviously another important role of the teacher is that he is the facilitator of the information, because the students don't know the information, so the teacher is there to facilitate this information that they are going to learn. The teacher also interacts, teaches, focuses, clarifies, supports, expands, and everything about the information and the problems that the students may have. Because he does all these things, you're not going to see the teacher in front of the class talking to everyone like a traditional class. No, you're going to see the teacher more like going through the groups, asking what is the problem that they may have and answering doubts. So obviously because of this role of the teacher is not going to create this disciplinary control very massive. He's going to reduce this, and the teacher is just going to let the students work. Finally, we have the rules of the material. So in the material, you're not going to need a specific material, but you want to be sure that your material is able for everyone. If you have, for example, 5 groups, you are going to make sure that all the 5 groups have the same material, that they have the material needed to complete the activity. You also have to be aware that the activities you're going to do can work with your groups correctly. And I think that the role of the material is that everyone can have the opportunity to learn more and to take advantage of your activities as a group.
Now, I want to talk about advantages and disadvantages of cooperative language teaching. Advantages: more oral production time. In this, students have more confidence to speak with their peers or with their classmates. Greater involvement of each member. In this, students had a role in the group by being a member of a group. Now, students developed a new expectation. Each member of the group will have a different way of working. So each one will have a new expectation or new knowledge too. Next, they share and learn different skills. Each students have different skills and they can learn from the group. Group members had different roles. Students can be a leader or direct the group, and also put the position she has in the group. This generates the activity. Confidence in the practice in the language. As it is a group work, they have the confidence and security to practice the language without feeling pressure from the teacher. Now, facilitate grows from cultural inclusion. It encourages inclusion between different cultures and also generates a respect in the classroom or respect with their classmates. Now, disadvantages of cooperative language teaching. People need to go at different speeds. Here, there may be peer pressure for not finish their work or not finish their activity. Risk of unable set role division. Some students may work harder than others. Possible conflicts. Within the groups, there may be problems with doing a group activity. Shy students don't feel comfortable in the group. Being shy, the students may feel out of the group or demotivate to the activity. Those are the advantages and disadvantages of cooperative language teaching.
And we also have some examples about this cooperative language learning, and those examples are very easy to do in your class. So first we have the 3-step interview, which is in pairs, is the usual conversation that you send to your students. So students in pairs get a conversation, they do their lines, maybe they have this dialogue, and at the end of the interview they just change the roles. Okay. We also have the round the table, which is that in the classroom you make a circle with your students, and the students should pass information by one. And this could be maybe a question or something that they are interested in, and the students one by one are adding more and more information. Well, we also have the thing per share, which is that the teacher proposes a doubt or maybe a question that is not too hard, but the answer of the students are going to create and more consequences of that question, and the students are going to get a debate about what is going to happen about the result of that question. We also have the solve pair share, where is that teacher proposes a problem and the students are working in pairs so they can solve this problem, and they are going to share their answers with other groups. And finally we have the number heads, where that students are numerated and you create groups, and obviously at the end of the class you're going to ask that all the students share the information so all the groups can have the same knowledge.